One of the first things I wanted to start with is, who is CIF, the Community Impact Fund? Never heard of it, so who is it? I founded the Community Impact Fund back in 2017 based on needs that I saw in my own community. See, I live in South Denver, Colorado, in Douglas County. Specifically, I live in a city called Castle Pines. In 2017, it was kind of a slow period in business, right? It was around Christmas time. And so I was at a coffee shop just kind of doing a little research, and I happened to Google Douglas County, Colorado. And the first thing that popped up, and the first thing that I noticed, is that at the time in 2017, Douglas County, Colorado was the fourth highest income county in all of the US. In fact, out of the top 10 counties with the highest income, there was about 5 in Washington, D.C., 3 in New York, 1 in New Jersey, and then Douglas County, Colorado. It's just a weird outlier. So the next thing I searched was, what are the needs in Douglas County? And to my surprise, the first search result in Google was from a food bank. And what it said on the headline was that there was 45,000 households in Douglas County, the fourth highest income county in the US, living in poverty, living in suburban poverty defined by food insecurity or hunger. And I couldn't believe that. So the next day, I cold walked into the CEO's office. His name was Dennis Gordon. He's the CEO of C-Corps, which is a food bank. And I was asking him about this number of families that were dealing with poverty. You see, I'd never heard anything like that. So I was kind of slow to believe what they were saying. And so when I asked Dennis where he got the data, he shared with me that the county has an entire department for the last 10 years that were studying this problem. And that I could have the data, I could have the report. But he looked me in the eye and he said, that's not the problem. He said, Judah, you see, the problem is different. The problem is a lack of respect for human dignity. And therefore, we limit participation with programs and resources and opportunities to help. And so the real problem is this lack of participation because of dignity. And I'd never heard anything like that. He was estimating that upwards of 90% of those families never received any resources or any help within the community. And so I took that as a challenge. I took that back, and you see, my background is in software development. For about 15 years prior to this, I've built software development teams around the world. I built multiple startups. And so the way I think about things is, how can we solve problems that scale? So I knew that the problem was related to privacy, and as we were back at that coffee shop, I looked out the window and I saw a banner on a King Soopers grocery store. King Soopers is the grocery store here in Colorado. And what that banner said was click list. It was an ad for a mobile ordering app for groceries. I knew in that instant that that could be an interesting solution for this problem around violating people's dignity. You see, too many organizations call people out, whether it's in line at a food bank, it's into HR's office, it's a special card to go shopping with at the grocery store, it's to go meet with a pastor. And so we knew that privacy might be an interesting solution for this problem, so we could just help our community. So we came up with a plan to use the mobile ordering app from the grocery store to deliver food into the community. We got referrals to about 5 or 6 different families. We wrote them a one-page email describing that they could go shopping and that we had already put a credit card on file to cover the cost. And we didn't think that would have much impact, but lo and behold, that simple act of the respect of someone's dignity unlocked tremendous impact. In fact, we had close to $300,000 in donations in the next 30 days. And that was the founding of the Community Impact Fund. So I wanted to share that story. We'll go into a little bit more details on the specifics of dignity and using technology to solve some of these community problems. But that is simply how the Community Impact Fund got started, by seeing a problem, seeing a need in my own community, and then responding to it, trying to move fast, trying to innovate, and trying to help our neighbors who have these needs. So we're a 501c3, which is a public charity that is really designed to come alongside organizations, including credit unions, and helping them maximize their impact by meeting needs in their own community. starting with their employees, then their members, and then the greater community at large. Our mission is to help organizations meet the needs of people in their community by providing both education and technology that creates sustainable and scalable community impact. Our vision is simply prospering communities worldwide. And our core values are things like embracing community, respecting dignity, meeting needs, collective impact, living with intention, and never settle. That's just a little bit about myself and the Community Impact Fund. And now we'll talk a little bit more about why credit unions are designed to have an impact.